Alright, today's going to be a little different and we're going to talk about the best diet for weight loss and bodybuilding. So often medical experts tell us that problems like obesity is just simply overeating and lack of exercise. However, that is a failed medical theory, but the real problem is not eating enough nutrient-dense foods to provide your body's nutritional needs. So when we eat nutritionally empty foods, our body's hunger hormone is not turned off. It stays on, causing us to binge eat, constantly looking for those vitamins, minerals, proteins, fats, and it doesn't get turned off until we get our nutrient tanks are satisfied. So when you eat nutritionally empty foods like sugary cereal, chips, you will get hungry again and eat again and binge eat and keep eating. I'm going to show you some videos explaining the actual cause of obesity. Now imagine if people started eating nutrient-dense foods that you can easily find in things like animal products. One of the diets I'm going to be talking about is a low-carb, high animal products keto diet. And often, medical experts tell us that obesity is just simply lack of exercise and overeating, but that's not really the case. In fact, what causes that overeating is eating nutritionally empty foods because our bodies are constantly craving, looking for those minerals. In fact, women who are pregnant are notorious for having strange cravings, They're always craving some kind of mineral, some kind of vitamin, so they're eating the most bizarre foods like pickles and ice cream, and it causes them to binge eat because they're not getting the correct nutritional needs, so they binge eat. Same thing happens in horses. They have something called cribbing, where they'll chew on fence posts because they're not getting the proper mineral vitamins that they need, so they'll start eating like random stuff like fence posts. And often medical experts are not always experts, as we can tell this year. The experts are not always experts, just because they have credentials doesn't make them an expert in their field. What makes them an expert is if what they're saying is true, and if you apply this, it works, right? Exhibit A, this is the Belgium Minister of Health. And I'll be honest, she doesn't look like no Minister of Health. In fact, she looks like she ministers everything but health. She's a minister at Dunkin' Donuts is what she is. And that's the problem with a lot of experts. They're promoting this type of stuff, and giving pills and all kinds of, advice that often does not work. So right now I'm going to show you a few videos explaining what actually causes obesity. I'm going to post them right here.
Fruit drinks make pudgy kids fatter. We're living on dry cereals and apple juice. They go to school with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. They come home and eat Kraft's macaroni and cheese, and the parents think they're giving them a good diet. There's nothing but carbohydrates and sugar. There's not even anything green and leafy or tomatoes in there. Nothing but sugar and carbohydrates. No vitamins and minerals. And the kids, got ADD and ADHD. And well, this is the cause of obesity in America. Pica, you've all read about pica or cribbing. The only thing that will cause this behavior where they eat dirt or chew on the fence or wooden implements and things like that is a mineral deficiency. Some minerals are worse than others, but all mineral deficiencies cause this behavior in animals, pica or cribbing, where they eat other things other than food. And it's not boredom, it's they're minerally deficient. Pregnant women are legendary for getting cravings during pregnancy. Why is that? Because the baby, as it's developing, is stealing minerals from the mother, and if she's not taking in enough to counteract that, they crave things. In the old South, where they have the heart attack, stroke, and cancer belt of America, they eat cornstarch. How many of you have heard of women eating cornstarch when they're pregnant? They go out in the yard and eat.
Yeah, as you can see from that first video that I showed you guys, often the cause of obesity is things like not getting the proper nutrients you need, such as minerals, vitamins. So your hunger hormone is never turned off. It's always on. You're constantly searching, just like pregnant women, they're obviously being pregnant takes a toll on them, and the baby's taking away all the vitamins, the minerals. So the mom starts developing cravings, and she doesn't know what she wants, So she starts eating random food like pickles, ice cream. Or when my mom was pregnant with my little sister like 10 years ago, or not 10 years ago, like 13 years ago, she was eating lemons. Like she was craving all kinds of weird stuff like that. And it causes women to binge eat, and also gain weight. So the proper way to fix this is eating nutrient-dense foods like animal products, beef, salmon, stuff like that, chicken. And I'm going to show you another video explaining obesity.
50% obesity by the year 2030, that tells you that they don't know what to do. They have no earthly idea because their theory has failed them, and they cannot believe it's a disease of deficiency.
They're still operating that steam engine mentality where you put the coal in and you get a fire, and they don't understand that the body's not a steam engine. There's a whole, it's a metabolic system, it's a chemistry system.
Spin off of that, of course, they say that people who are obese, they have a higher rate of diabetes. Yep, it's a sort of cousin disease here. Right. They run together, but not all the time. You can have people who are obese don't have diabetes, but they do tend to run together. together. And we've known for 70 years that diabetes, type 2 diabetes, which makes up 98% of the diabetic population, is a simple mineral deficiency disease again. It's not genetic in any way, shape, or form.
Right.
It is a simple mineral deficiency disease.
Yeah, so again, he said obesity is a mineral deficiency disease, basically. So when your body's not getting proper nutrients, you're going to keep eating and eating and eating. You're not going to stop. It's what causes munchies, right? We keep binge eating because our body's nutrient tanks are not satisfied. You're clearly missing some vitamins, minerals, so your body's hunger hormone is on, and you're looking for those vitamins and minerals. So you start binge eating all kinds of stuff, and you never get that vitamin satisfied because you're not eating nutritionally dense foods. And today I'm actually going to talk about a couple known as Joe and Charlene Anderson. For more than 20 years, they only eat meat. Not Slim Jims or processed meat like from McDonald's, but like organic, natural meat. Chicken, beef, fish, stuff like that. And I'm going to show a few pictures of them, and I want you guys to guess their age. This is Charlene. Take a guess at her age. She is 46, and she looks amazing. In fact, she looks younger at 45 than she was at 25. And this guy right here, I want you to guess his age too. He's 57 years old in this picture. Currently, he's 61, and I'll show more pictures as I read about them. So doctors, supporters of a healthy lifestyle, and everyone who keeps up their appearance pay great attention to the issues of balanced nutrition. Every year, more and more supporters conquer vegetarianism, and finally everyone knows that in food there should be a certain ratio of proteins, fats, and carbohydrates that the human body needs, vitamins and minerals, and finally food should be taken in small portions several times a day. However, there are many examples when people who eat contrary to all the recommendations that the experts give us could boast of good health and excellent well-being. Such fans of non-standard food includes the Anderson family, living in the United States for almost 20 years. They have not eaten anything but meat, and all the times at the same time they are in excellent physical shape. This is Charlene Anderson, the wife. She's 44 in this picture. That's insane. Joe Anderson became a fan of a protein diet in his youth. When he became interested in bodybuilding, he tried the Vince Gurnati diet, which includes eggs and beef and Rio Blair and the addition of cheese and whey. Yeah, so basically he was a bodybuilder back in the day. In fact, let me look up a picture of him, and I'm going to post him. Bodybuilder Vince G. Yeah, he was a bodybuilder back in the old school days, and this is what he looked like, and he looked pretty good. And his diet consisted of only meat, eggs, dairy, and that's pretty much it. So no vegetables or fruits. Surprising, right? His wife, Charlene, has been a supporter of eating cereals and vegetables all her life. This did not stop them from starting a family. That was quite happy until 1998. Charlene showed symptoms of Lyme disease. As a result of this dangerous disease, which is transmitted by ticks, the woman literally could not stand on her feet, could not straighten up. She lost hair, eyebrows, and was allergic to many substances, even tap water. It was found that the only product Charlene tolerated well is beef, and the fatter the better. The Andersons began to study special literature on meat diets and found that saturated fats have a very strong antibacterial effect. They experimented with other types of meat and fish offal bone broth, carefully checked the body's response to each ingredient, and gradually switched from a low-carb diet to a zero-carb diet. So for 20 years, this couple has been doing a carnivore diet. And what's it called? Yeah, for 20 years, they've been doing a carnivore diet, and they've experienced all kinds of health benefits. They look younger. They, reverse their age. I mean, the guy looks like he could be in his early 40s, even 30s. Like in this picture, he's 60 years old right here. And I'm going to show another picture where he looks absolutely young. Like, here's one. Here's the whole family. There's 2 boys. The dad, he's 61 in this pic, and the mom is 46. So, yeah, they look amazing for their age. You know, and often the medical experts, they've been telling us for years, we've all been convinced that things like butter, animal fat, lard, meat with high fat content, it's bad for us, causes high cholesterol. First of all, our brains has the most cholesterol out of any organ in our body. It needs it. It's called LDL. It's good LDL, good high cholesterol. And our bodies need it to function. And what actually causes bad cholesterol is things like vegetable oils, like processed vegetable oils, and hydrogenated vegetable oils like soybean oil, right? And in fact, why we all think of butter and lard and animal fats as bad is because back in the old days, the company Crisco, a vegetable oil company, paid doctors to demonize butter and lard and stuff like that so they can sell their products. And it actually worked. They paid the doctors, and the doctors started this whole campaign. and they demonized things like butter, right? I mean, our ancestors for the longest time, they always cooked with butter. They were fine. They lived, to ripe old ages. But yeah, so the medical experts, again, they're not always right just because they have the credentials, right? I mean, like back in the day, like the 50s and 40s, doctors were paid to advertise, Marlboro Red, the cigarette company paid doctors to advertise cigarettes, even to pregnant women, like, the old school commercials, Marlboro Reds, the cigarettes pregnant women crave, like those stupid commercials. And just because they're experts, people listen to them, And I think that's the conditioning people need to get out of, that brainwashing that if just because somebody is an expert and has the credentials makes them knowledgeable in their field, when that's just, not always the case. So I'm going to continue to read. Joel Anderson was always interested in bodybuilding. He became interested in the Vince Gordillo diet, which claimed that his diet would make anyone strong and healthy. Joe became interested and began to try and study this question more deeply. In fact, Joe Rogan actually had a guest on his show. His name was Dr. Sean Baker, and he has been a carnivore for 3 years. Before, he was just eating the standard American diet of, basic carbs and, basic American food and processed junk, and he was really fat. And then he tried carnivore, and he noticed all kinds of health benefits. Joints felt better. Joints felt better. He just felt healthier. He's stronger in the gym and stuff like that. And even Joe Rogan was very curious, and for a whole month he did the carnivore diet. And this is a before and after pic. And the before pic, he was all bloated, and the other pic, he was all healthy looking and fit, and even lost a lot of weight in just a month, just eating carnivore diet. And like I said before, when you eat nutritionally dense foods, your appetite turns off, right? So I've tried this diet before for like a week, and I noticed that I only ate like 1 to 2 times a day. I was satisfied. Even when I worked out, I'm like, okay, I'll just eat this and I'm satisfied, So like in the mornings, I would just have, if I was hungry, I would have eggs with like ground beef and cheese and cheese, and that's it. And I would feel really good the whole day. And the beautiful part about that, because I was eating a 0-carb diet, I had no crashes throughout the day. When it comes to my energy levels were flat. I felt good throughout the whole day. But when you eat carbs and sugars, your energy levels are up here, and then you just crash. But when you eat, a keto diet, one of the benefits of keto, especially high animal products, is this is how you feel throughout the day. Your energy levels are flat. They're always good, up until you go to sleep. So you don't feel tired. You don't crash. And that's one of the benefits I noticed. Now, I personally wouldn't do carnivore forever. I like vegetables, but what I do is most of my diet is high animal products. So I eat mostly animal products plus vegetables and salads, on the side. But yeah, that's how I do my diet. And so I'm gonna show you a few pictures of them now. This is Charlene and Joe Anderson. He's 61 in this pic and 46, and she's 46 in the other one. Like, I'm very amazed. He looks good. He does not look like a 61-year-old man. Like, he looks 30-something, like late 30s. So yeah, good-looking couple, healthy and fit. But yeah, there's a lot of benefits to eating animal products. It's been so demonized by our culture and all these stupid documentaries, like the vegan documentaries on Netflix, demonizing meat and stuff. What's interesting, I forgot the vegan documentary. I think it was Earthlings or something like that. But the guy who made that documentary, he had a pea protein company. So of course he's going to demonize meat, He wants people to buy his protein, his pea protein. But yeah, so often there's a lot of vegans, that are ex-vegans now because they felt their bodies deteriorate. They felt weaker. Even Mike Tyson tried it and he hated it. He said, look, I feel weaker. There's a lot of athletes you can look up, and I'll probably post a link of all the athletes that left veganism. I used to follow this parkour athlete. He was very strong. He was an acrobatic athlete, and he was vegan for 6 years, and he stopped being vegan because he said, I feel sick. I feel terrible. My joints hurt. I don't feel explosive anymore. I'm tired. But then he said, but when I introduced things like salmon, eggs back into my diet, I felt strong again. I felt explosive again. So that really shows that there is huge benefits to eating animal products, But yeah, personally, the diet I would recommend the most to people is keto diet. So no carbs, or low carbs, or 0 carbs, vegetables and stuff like that. But have a higher animal protein intake. And I'll post some articles in my bio to talk about it more. But I hope you enjoyed this, because I did. So yeah, thank you.